captured one of the most wanted men in Iraq. 5 years later, now 3 U.S. Navy SEALs are facing a court-martial. Sources telling FoxNews.com that the SEALs captured the ringleader in the murder and mutilation of 4 Blackwater security guards back in 2004. 4 Americans whose charred bodies were strung up from a bridge in the town of Fallujah, western Iraq. Michael Farkas is a military law attorney and former JAG officer with me in studio. How are you, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. How strong is this case?
Well, from what little we know at this point, it does not look like a very strong case. It looks circumstantial at best. It's hard to say. Let's be cautious because it's so early in the fact-finding process. But even the little we know about what one of the witnesses says is that he took a glance over at the detainee when he was in custody, and he seemed okay. And that says to me, where is the direct evidence?
Okay, let's talk about that. Now, he was in American custody. He was transferred to Iraqi custody, and now he's back in custody of the Americans. What happened between that transfer? Where's the evidence that this guy says he was abused?
What it looks like is that when he was transferred to Iraqi custody, that's when he made a complaint that he was abused. And let's remember, this is right out of the Al-Qaeda playbook. The Manchester document was recovered a long time ago. One of Al-Qaeda's MOs is to take every opportunity to accuse American service members of abuse and use the judicial process.
So you're saying that Al-Qaeda understands how we prosecute, how we litigate cases, and they're using that to their advantage?
Would I ever say that? Of course I would say that. They know it better than the majority of our own citizens know it.
Really?
Absolutely.
That is stunning. Is this in a manual somewhere that we've uncovered or reported on?
I believe the British police recovered in 2000 something called the Manchester document. And in effect, it is a manual, a how-to for the wannabe Al-Qaeda terrorist. And one of the things that they teach them to do is to use our own judicial process against us, to use it as a soapbox, as a platform, and to, again, accuse American service members of abuse at the earliest opportunity.
That is remarkable. The evidence against them is that he had a bloody lip?
Apparently, the egregious injury in this case is a bloody lip.
Okay, yes. Now the SEALs have chosen to fight this.
They sure have.
They're going to take this to a court-martial. That's significant.
It is, and what's interesting about it is that they were offered by their command a lesser form of disciplinary punishment that would not result in prison time or in a criminal conviction, and they turned that down, which is their right. And usually when that happens, it's either because the evidence is very weak against them and they believe if they get their day in court that they're going to beat it, or it's because they really assert their innocence, or a combination of both.
Well, that's interesting. This ringleader is accused of just absolute heinous crimes.
It really couldn't be worse.
This was an event in Fallujah that stunned the world, frankly. You had 4 guys working their way on a supply mission to the town of Fallujah. They were fired at. Grenades were thrown at them. They were killed on scene. Their bodies were set on fire. They were dragged through the town, and at least 2 of them were hung up by a bridge. Does it get worse than that?
Shades of Somalia. Very similar actions in Somalia by probably the same ideological group. It doesn't get worse than this. And let's face facts, this is the danger that our service members and our civilian contractors accompanying our forces, they face it every day.
That's very true. How sensitive is the military when you reflect back on Abu Ghraib? Is this something that comes from that still?
It would probably be fair to say that that is ingrained in everything that the military does because they want to avoid the perception that they're not taking that seriously. But, you know, to be fair and to be honest, America is a nation of laws. And although there's a delicate balance between ensuring the cause of justice and standing by our service members, we do abide by the laws of war and we do prosecute those who violate it. This case, it seems that it's a little too early to tell.
Based on what you know, can they beat it?
Based on what little we know now, it looks like they can, yes.
All right, Michael, thank you. We'll call on you again, okay? Michael Farkas,
thank you very much.
Former JAG officer with us in New York. Thank you.